Okay, cool. Hello, my name is Matt. I'm currently working as a chain dev in Osmosis, and today I want to talk about ICNS and off-chain signature verification. Here's the agenda for today. Let's do a quick ICNS overview, and then talk about off-chain signature verification, then talk about future of ICNS. Step 1, ICNS overview. Why isn't ICNS just another name service? But first, let's talk briefly about the history of name services. Generation 1 was DNS, where they came up with the concept of mapping hard IP addresses to human-readable names. It now works as a key to function the internet, but it has a small problem of being centralized, and oftentimes censored by third-party entities like the government, for example. Then came second generation ENS. They attempted to map complex hash addresses to human-readable names, which was a wonderful invention since people did not have to copy-paste their hard addresses from wallets, send it on Telegram or Slack, but instead they can just talk over their name service name. Now, it kind of adopted a decentralized system, although I would say not 100%. And it also had a shortcoming that it was limited to the Ethereum ecosystem. And now, third generation, I would say, is ICNS, where we add the concept of interoperability, the Cosmos thesis, on top of name services. Let's talk about some differences between ENS and ICNS to see how ICNS is significant. The first difference is the structural difference. If you take a look at ENS, it has a similar structure to DNS, where top-level domains control sub-level domains. Whoever owns MetaMask.eth owns alice.metamask.eth, bob.metamask.eth, and so on. However, for ICNS, if you really think about it, it has the reverse structure to ensure interoperability. That means that subdomains control top-level domains, where whoever owns Alice gets to own alice.cosmos, alice.osmo, alice.juno, and so on. Second difference, decentralization. But before we talk about decentralization, let's talk about what makes a good name service. Imagine a name service with few million people registered to it. If you really think about it, the name service wouldn't be worth anything if none of the block explorers, wallets like Keplr's, or other integrators or clients use it. What makes a good name service is not the contract itself, but the clients and integrators who integrate it. ICNS currently has a committee consisted of Cosmos Station, Keplr Commonwealth, Skiff Protocol, non-doubtly the best integrators and best clients in the Cosmos ecosystem. This kind of gives ICNS the assurance that it's always going to be widely used and always going to be compatible. Not to mention a teaspoon of decentralization added, since we have the committee members work as oracles when users are claiming their names. Part 2, off-chain signature verification. Let's say we have Bob here trying to claim sunnya97.osmo. And we have Alice here trying to claim sunnya97.osmo. And we have the real Sunny here trying to claim sunnya97.osmo. How do we know it's you? This is possible due to ADR 36. This was a proposal first invented by Zaki, Bez, and other brilliant Cosmos developers. And it's basically an off-chain signature verification mechanism. And it's basically proving that it's you, only using your signature and pub key. This is a brief interface of how ADR 36 looks like. It has simple, although it does look kind of complicated, it has simple information such as your address, pub key, and signature bytes. Amongst all these fields, we really want to focus on the signature field shown on the bottom left. When you think about it, when a user claims their ICNS name using a Keplr, Keplr fills in this text standard that we have set and creates a signature bytes using user's private key. Now, in the meantime, in the contract side, we fill in the same text standard using the information passed on, and we converted them to bytes. Now we feed them to SHA-256, Kachak-256, depending on whether it's Ethereum or Cosmos, and then we turn them to message hash. And using the same message hash, And using the user signature and user pub key that Keplr has sent us, we feed it to SecP256K1, which would now give us a result of proving either it's you or not. And this is the beauty of off-chain signature verification mechanism, ADR36. Enough with the boring stuff. Let's talk about what's next for ICNS. First, token list. Some of you might be familiar with the concept from Ethereum, more detailed Uniswap. It's basically a concept where organizations or different entities can register their token list, and users can directly import the token list and use it as their token list. We can also bring this to Cosmos by extending the ICNS resolver contract to create the token list contract. Now, the reason this is really powerful, and the reason we really need it in Cosmos, is because we have so many IBC tokens out there, and we don't have a standard to gatekeep these tokens. Even in Osmosis, we have a list of tokens that doesn't have a strong standard, but using token lists, gatekeeping these IBC tokens becomes possible. Next is UX improvement. Now, there's a really annoying problem in Cosmos right now. When you go to MintScan, type in alice.osmo to search in an ICNS name, you click the search button, you'd somehow find that the search button is not working. Now, you find out that you have to manually press the toggle button, press the none, or ICNS, or Stargaze names, choose whichever name service you're using, and then do the search to actually search your name service or your name. This is how I see the current UX, or like the name service UX of Cosmos, where we have 3 different name services in one ecosystem. And yes, this is not fine. Instead, I want to talk in 4 steps how it was in the Cosmos ecosystem and how it should be, and which direction we should be moving forwards on. First step was no name service. We had times back then when there were no name services at all, so we need to copy-paste these Bech32 addresses from Keplr. Then last December, 3 name services came out at once. And it's better than no name service, but it's still chaotic, right? Now, what we can do to improve this is create a meta contract to unify these name services, where users can set their preference of which name service you want to use, and then whichever block explorer or wallets who are using it can query it depending on users' preferences. But what can even be better is having a unified name service. Now, I don't know if this would be a possible future for us in Cosmos, but I dream of a day, for the sake of Cosmos and for the sake of Cosmos UX, I dream of a day where ICNS, Stargaze names, and IBC domains, we can all just merge to provide the best UX in Cosmos ecosystem. And I want to end my talk by sending out loves to all the contributors and developers out there for Cosmos. Thank you.